Rest in peace, Sonia, Sonia. Terrible, absolutely terrible. So what she told the cop before he pulled that trigger, she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." That's what she said. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. That's what she said. And somehow, was it that did she see something? She must have seen something. Some people have an ability to see things. Or did she feel the presence of something other than those cops that were there? What happened? Man, that was crazy. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And then that happens. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. This dude pulled the trigger. And anybody who saw the footage will realize that that was crazy. How did that just happen? Was it that offensive to say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus? I really don't get it. She must have sensed a presence. She must have. Some people have a gift. Some people have a gift. I rebuke you. That is just. Let me see. There's something I Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Professor. We're back on. We're back on. Let me put up the guest link. We got an echo going on right here, but that's all good. Let me put this thing on there. Let me throw that link up, the sausage link. There it is. Sorry about that, Professor. I had a little complication there. Little something, something. Hey, Professor.
Hello.
Yeah, you saw that? That lady. That lady said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," and then this dude just comes out and blasts her. I mean, how crazy is that?
What lady?
Sonia, what's her last name? Sonia
Massey?
Massey. Yeah. You didn't see the video? The camera from the police officers?
I don't want to.
Okay, well I saw the whole thing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they're seriously, well, this has been an ongoing thing for a while. I mean, there
It's
has to
being
be.
rumored. Yeah, there's rumors that this guy has been a problem before her.
Yeah, he was a problem before.
So why? See, police unions are the problem because they protect these guys carte blanche.
Not just the unions, it's also that qualified immunity.
That too. That's
That
bad. They
qual
need to get rid
that
of that.
that's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go. Let me tell you something. I saw the whole thing. I saw the whole video, and these people need to be retrained, and they need to be more selective as to who they choose to become police. They need to be more selective.
I agree.
They got to raise the standards
I
because
agree.
you got, yeah, you listen. They claim they're there to protect and serve. That's just a slogan, okay? That's just a slogan. But whatever they're teaching in the academy, they need to change that.
Yeah.
She said, Okay, so he responded on the camera. Well, I don't know if it was. No, well, he makes mention of the code that they were responding to, and the code is related to what is that? The code is related to um, the code is related. What's up, D?
I just can't watch that video. Maybe one of these days, but
How
I
you
just can't.
doing?
Fine, how are you? I just can't bring myself to watch that. Not right now.
Yeah, well, um, I mean, I had to live through um, attacks that wound up unaliving people at my former workplace, and yeah,
Was it racial?
what, where I worked?
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. Yeah, I was a correction officer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have told me that.
Yeah.
The trucker guy I used to be friends with. His sister's a baby
Huh?
sister. Well, she's 39. She's a correctional officer in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's a big girl because that job, they will try you, even in
Yeah.
women's
They will.
prisons. Yeah.
Yes, they will. And matter of fact, two women that I worked with were almost unalived.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. There've been a few of my coworkers that have had to retire on medical uh take medical retirements from assaults that they received. Some have been raped, males that have been raped. Yeah. And so I was able to watch it. It's a little different watching somebody get shot from somebody getting stabbed up multiple times. But it's still unpleasant nonetheless, and I understand why many people don't want to watch it. But the code for the call has something to do with a person with mental health issues, and so they approach the situation, and that one officer, whose name I forget right now, but the officer that pulled that trigger, he they went beyond what they needed to, and a lot of cops, unfortunately, have this air of superiority, this arrogance, this idea that they could do whatever they want.
They could get by with this for
And
years and
part
know
of
it's
the
not going
reason
to happen.
why they believe that, number one, is the training. Number two, yeah, what's that? You're breaking up. Sorry.
DeAndre or me?
You were breaking up.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Cameras are everywhere now. So
Yeah, they are.
remember that cop that went up to that guy that was running from him, and the
Yes.
cop was white and the kid was black, and he sat right there and went boom, pew, 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 and he didn't know that there was a Hispanic outside of the gate filming
Yes.
everything.
That happened in the Carolinas. I don't remember if it was North or South Carolina, but yeah, I remember that clearly. Yeah.
That Hispanic kid was far enough away that it would have been hard to catch him. And when
Yep.
that thing went viral, how you gonna explain that you walk up to that kid and empty bullets in it? Can't
The
explain
crate.
that away.
No, you can't. And the thing is that kind of stuff has been happening for so long. Our community has been complaining about this type of abuse for so long, and so many people were stepping up, claiming that we were lying or that we were exaggerating. Hey, we got cameras now.
Even some white people are speaking out. They're like, we can see it now.
Yeah. Well, hello. So that immunity thing got to go.
Yep.
This guy, these guys, okay, she's the one that calls. So they go to the door and she says, "No, I'm good now." So why do you keep the very person that called said, "I'm good now." It's time to go. Okay. So maybe there was an intruder. Who knows? Right? That's from the police officer's perspective. Maybe that intruder is there and she's saying it's all good because he threatened her or she threatened her. Maybe. Okay, I mean, if you're going to use some justification to enter her home, okay, let's say you want to make sure that the intruder isn't threatening her and he's in there right now.
Right.
Okay, okay, let's go in. But what are we going in there for? Make sure she's not under threat by that intruder that she called about.
Because they could have been in there.
And yeah. And by the way, don't forget about that code. It's related to mental health. The code that was used to call them in was associated with that call. Okay. So now you're in there. You look around. You don't see any evidence of anybody hiding in there. It's time to go. It ain't time to be it ain't time to be escalating nothing. It's time to go.
You're a little silent, DeAndre.
DeAndre reported on this thing. DeAndre, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
It's too many. It's too many. Like it's too many voices. Like you. It's like you're echoing.
Do you have another device on with us on it?
That's why I had to click off YouTube because I was echoing and only be on the stream yard.
No, this.
Are you on StreamYard?
Let me see that on my.
If you're on both, you'll echo.
Wait a minute. Let me try to come back in and.
Try to come back in.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to come back.
Moan back.
Okay. Okay.
I was so happy to see you speaking with Lucy last night.
Yeah, Lucy came through. What?
My two favorite Dominicans.
Hey. Yeah, I didn't know she was Dominican. I didn't know what she was exactly because that area of the Bronx where she's from is heavily populated with Puerto Ricans.
That's what I thought she was until she told me like a year ago. Yeah, she's like, no, I'm Dominican. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I thought she was a Puerto Rican when I first saw her, you know, because of the area that she lived in. Because had she said, had she said if she was that she was from Washington Heights, okay, you're Dominican. But that area of the Bronx where she's from, nah, it's not heavily populated with Dominicans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if she was Puerto Rican, because
she can cook though, from what I see in her.
What?
Video. Yep.
Listen, I'm gonna creep up there on the QT. Yeah. Oh, you think it's a joke, huh? You think it's a joke?
You got a bowl.
I got my bowl ready. Hey. She ain't even gonna know. She ain't even gonna expect it. I'm coming through like, what? I'm gonna say it's me. Who the hell is me?
It's you. Mr. Burns.
Me, damn it. It's Mr. Burns. Look what I got. No, it's not for you to keep. It's for you to fill it. Fill this thing. What the heck? Hell yeah. She's in trouble now. What?
I'm happy,
She's
y'all.
in trouble.
I'm glad you subbed to her. Lucy's really nice. I met her through another YouTuber who since got their channel terminated. You might
What? Why?
For the same reason that you said a lot would. You wouldn't necessarily have liked him because he was into a lot of that gender war stuff. But
God.
But the same people who got him terminated are kind of the same way. That's what.
Jeez. You know, I've been getting into battles with Big Ward's people. I've been dropping comments, and his followers, they've been coming at me.
For who?
Big Ward the genius.
Oh yeah, the women are coming after him something serious because if he criticizes men they're okay with that. But now that he's
Oh,
getting them, they don't like that. I'm like, well, that's not really fair because
well,
he's
he's been,
not taking either side.
yeah. Well, he's been getting political lately. So
Oh,
I've been going, yeah. So I've been going in there, and yeah, yeah, because he's got some very strong opinions, and I'm challenging those opinions, respectfully, of course. You know, I don't get disrespectful, but you know, I ask questions, and the type of questions that I'm asking, I guess his followers are perceiving me as being of a particular party, and they're completely wrong. But I'm still asking the questions, and they coming at me, girl. I gotta be in there like the Matrix.
yeah, you have
What?
to be careful with them. That's why I don't go on his lives because I'm more like you. I'm a centrist. I mean, it doesn't matter who wins the selection. We're all getting screwed anyway.
You got to pave your own way, and regardless.
Regardless, yeah.
And
You
that's the
see what
point I'm trying to bring across. Now, yeah, what were you about to say? Because yeah, I'm about to agree with that.
Yep, about what you said about people being tribalist and having one-sided opinions, and they're following these people just like following that one little what you call that mythical creature Pan who played that pipe falling
Yeah.
off the darn cliff. That's both sides of that party. I ain't going off that cliff for nobody.
No. No. You know, listen. There's a method that they go by. If you want to ignore that, hey, whatever. That's why on the channel I talk a lot about propaganda and marketing and making sure that you defend yourself against that, because if you're serious about becoming an investor, you can't be falling for all that stuff like Elon and Tesla. That guy, he's really fooling people.
I think he is.
No, he definitely is. That whole EV thing with the car. Oh, okay, look, let me put it to you this way. When Tesla came out, yes, he was the forerunner. He was the main thing when it came to electric vehicles. I understand that now. I'm pretty sure that the average person does not know that the first cars that were actually used were electric vehicles, not combustible engine vehicles.
Right.
And they were used in France and in England back in the early to mid 1800s.
I've seen YouTube videos of them too. They're awesome. I wish they bring some of them back.
Yeah. However, you're being challenged by probably the most powerful industry in the world, which is the oil industry.
Right.
And it was our homeboy Rockefeller that made sure that electric vehicles and alcohol were out of the picture.
Okay.
Out of the picture. So here's Elon with an electric vehicle, and I got into an argument with another truck driver who was one of his fanboys, who was talking about how, you know, this is it. This is the latest. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and this is gonna blow up. Now, again, as an investor, I can't just run on somebody's personality and because you're going to get lied to. You're going to get lied to by Wall Street. You're going to get lied to by the fanboys and girls, and you're going to be lied to by corporate heads.
Elon goes out of his way just to be weird. That's what I don't get.
Oh, he's out there. He's out there, and his fanboys and girls just keep pumping up his nonsense.
Is he really just playing people, or is he really a little bit on the spectrum? I wonder about that.
Both.
Okay.
Both. He's officially on the spectrum.
So, like, something ain't right about this dude right here.
No, but he plays people. He plays people all the time. He didn't create Tesla. He came in as an employee.
True.
But you wouldn't get that from the fanboys and fangirls that pump up Tesla.
True.
That's all they do is pump it up. And every year,
right. Go ahead.
Every year, the same excuse. We're going to put out this product. We're going to put out this vehicle by this date. Nothing. Oh, next year. Everything is next year with this guy. So, listen. Okay, I'll ask you, Professor. You're dependent upon.
Oh, okay.
You're dependent. Yeah, you're dependent on certain materials so that you can make your product. Am I right?
Right.
Okay, but one of the vendors keep failing you. Listen, I need that. I'm running out of supplies. I need to manufacture more. Do you have my stuff ready? Oh, yeah, we got it ready. Now you're down to almost nothing, and they haven't produced. What are you going to do? You're going to go look for another supplier, am I right?
Right.
Well, these people, they're stuck on Elon, and he keeps doing that over and over again. It's time to move on. And also because he was the first guy to really push the electric vehicle thing all over again. You have to be cognizant of the fact that it's an automobile he's making. And he's the smallest of the producers of automobiles. So what's going to happen? Eventually, what the big manufacturers are doing, they're just sitting back to see if this thing is going to take off. And if it is taking off, is it worthwhile investing into that so we don't lose out on this wave?
Makes sense.
Well, they stuck their toes in the water.
Right.
But then the complications associated with electric vehicles started popping up. Okay? Started popping up. For example, what happened in Texas with that big freeze? Huh?
That was a hot mess, and now people are displaced in Texas again over this heat wave.
What are you going to do if the only car you have is an electric vehicle?
A whole lot of nothing.
Whole lot of nothing. Not only that, those battery fires are crazy. I've heard of people in China being trapped in their vehicles because all the electronics are shot. They can't get out. They can't open the window. And the car is on fire. A battery fire. That thing is the worst.
Oh, wow.
And now he's got stiff competition from especially one of those electric vehicle manufacturers in China that he laughed at. He said, no way, those people can't compete with us. Now they're overselling. They're selling more vehicles than Teslas.
Oh.
And they're manufacturing them much cheaper than Teslas.
Oh, wow.
So Tesla's not on a good path. But you'll never guess that because he's got all those fanboys and fangirls pumping it up. Yeah, DeAndre looks excited. Hey, D, you excited?
Am I what now? You said
what?
Excited. You said
Are you excited?
Yeah, excited.
Yeah, you look excited.
About that lady that was hurt by that cop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was listening.
Sonia
to
Macy.
Yeah, I done a live on it the other day.
I can't bring myself to watch that video of him doing that to her.
He did a live on that.
I couldn't watch that. Couldn't watch that video again because I was already pissed. Because I was getting mad all over again. It was just too much to process.
We're on our own out here.
ma'am.
We're on our own.
Yes, ma'am. And it's sad. No matter what we say or what we try to do, we still not being taken seriously
No.
at
Mm.
all. And they wonder why I be talking with so much anger when I be talking about this type of stuff because I'm tired. I don't know what else to do. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard being a black citizen out here. It is. It's hard. And it's complicated. It's crazy.
Some people don't believe that. Some from our own community don't believe that. Bugging
Mm-mm.
out.
Candace Owens.
Candace, oh my goodness. That's insane.
She
And there's a
counseled.
group of them out there.
She counseled
Officer
her,
Brandon Tatum. I used to be sub to those people, and then they started showing their true colors. I'm like, no, I gotta go.
her, her, Azalea Banks, and
Chief Keef,
somebody else.
Waka Flocka,
Him
Amber
too. Yeah.
Rose, Stacey Dash.
Oh, Stacey.
Oh,
She
Lord.
been through. She been through
Yeah. She got disqualified a long time ago.
a long time ago.
They're ridiculous. Listen.
And these used to be peoples of our community.
Yeah. Listen, our community has its faults, just like any other. But it ain't for you to be burying your own kind like that.
Mm-mm. We ain't asked to get on the live for nothing. All we asked for is help. And that's still not enough. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't trust now policemen. I don't trust now. And that's
Even
crazy.
the black ones.
Ma'am.
Even the black ones.
It's I like, I will. Like, be honest with you. I'd rather trust my own than the others. It's kind of hard to say.
I would have to judge it according to the area, because you have some areas where it's a good mix in that police force, and when there's a good mix, sometimes, or when the percentage of our community is represented in low numbers in that particular police force, a lot of times you have our own kind that are trying to kiss up and get that attaboy from.
What was that? Speaking, since you say that, what's that? What's that man name? He right. He kissing Trump ass. That black man.
Byron Daniels.
Him. That man. He's
He ain't the only one.
He ain't the only one, but he's the most memorable one.
Yeah, he kissing his ass. A coon.
Oh, Tim Scott. Tim Scott is kissing. Tim Scott.
That's the one. That's the one.
Listen, if you see a bulge in the back of Trump's pants, that's Tim Scott's head coming out his ass.
Full of shit.
He ain't kissing it. He's all up in there. Okay? That man, listen. That guy's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Somebody said something on TikTok about him, and I didn't know who this person was, so I looked up. That said Sky. I looked it up. I was like, "Hold up." So this the person that's all up. That's kissing his ass. Really?
But which one? Because listen, Byron is disgusting. Well, they both are. But Tim Scott, he's what do you call it, Professor? Because you've put out some content about those type of blacks, and you put out movies.
They the house ones. They work close to the house, so they don't have to.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
I can't.
still skeptical about certain of them that are Democrats too. Like Cory
Oh,
Booker. Cory Booker, for example, to me just seems like one of the most insincere people I've ever met. Now that's just me. That's gonna offend some people, but some about Cory
no.
Booker just rubs me the wrong way.
About who?
Cory
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 Booker.
might be Cory Booker might be the type of individual that when he looks in the mirror, he sees something different.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He probably
Yeah, I think he sees something different.
he's probably the type of person that'll throw his own kind up under the bus to save his behind.
Man, listen.
Some of our black leaders I just don't care for on either side, these so-called leaders.
Me, me either, and I can tell the ones that are kiss ups, that are kiss asses.
Oh man.
I don't care for Al Sharpton because I think he plays into W.E.B. Du Bois' talent.
Sharpton. Right, with that straight hair nonsense. What the hell are you doing, bruh?
Yep.
Ain't he the one that used to be big, but he done lost all that weight?
Yeah.
Yep.
He lost weight and his hair got straight miraculously.
Miraculously. Yep. His hair looked better than mine. Like he didn't have, like he did a perm once.
What? He got some permanent press going on up in there. What?
The rumor is to even get Sharpton to go stand on the front line with you, you already have to pay him $20K. That's the starting price.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get paid to go help your own people when you've been rich for decades now. And you're gonna
you gotta come up with some cash money.
I told black people on both sides we got coons in them parties on both sides. That's why
yes, we do.
That's why I can't just blame Donald Trump. It's some people be cooning for Biden like it's nothing. Joe Biden was quoted as saying in the 70s that he would not prefer his kids to go to school with black and Hispanic kids. And to my knowledge, Biden has not repented of that.
No, he hasn't repented of going along with Bill Clinton on that crime bill.
Messed up a lot of black men. I mean, well, you're a woman. What they got to do with anything? I have a black brother and a black father. That's what it has to do with it, you idiots.
Big dummies.
You big dummies.
Very.
You know they're paying these black men millions because it's coming out that some of them never had criminal records and were nowhere near where they said these dudes were.
And there's that qualified immunity again, because a lot of prosecutors were performing prosecutorial misconducts and not giving up exculpatory evidence that would have gotten these people off the hook.
Wasn't there a black guy from Boston that got accused of something years ago, and the only reason they couldn't pin anything on him because they did an investigation and proved he was in California all the way on the other side of the country the whole time? This white woman swore up and down it was him, but they're like, ma'am, we got evidence to show that he was not even in Massachusetts at the time. Like, for real? You wanted that man that bad?
Yeah.
He was in California the whole time something happened to you.
Jake Tapper from CNN, his father's a doctor, and his doctor treated a guy who was injured so badly, the guy couldn't even walk, and yet he was accused of a crime, convicted, sentenced, did something like 6 or 7 years when it was impossible for him to do it. Impossible.
I had no idea that happened.
Me either. I ain't never heard of that. That's messed up. Wow.
Yeah. There was no way physically possible that man could have committed the crime that he was accused of. Impossible. and yet they still convicted him, and he wound up doing time, something like 6 or 7 years or something like that, maybe even more.
That's so sad.
That's sad right there.
That's insane. Where's the exculpatory evidence? Exculpatory. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Exculpatory evidence. Where is it? Prosecutors only want that W. That's it. Remember, I spoke on this, and I'll say it again. I was arrested for grand larceny for a stolen vehicle.
Right.
And remember, anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. And that's exactly what they did to me. I opened up. I spoke out because I was innocent. There was a car that was gifted to me. I didn't steal anything. And that was proven the day of my presence in front of the judge. But the crazy part was, before the person actually stepped forward in court and let them know, hey, wait a minute, no, there's a mistake here. I just needed to claim that vehicle stolen so that I can get a hold of him, because I couldn't get a hold of him, because if not, my insurance would have nailed me. And that's why I did that. But he's innocent. But before that man stepped forward, that prosecutor, when I was standing in front of the judge, the way that prosecutor was going on about me, I'm looking around like, who the hell is this guy talking about? He ain't talking about me. He made me look like America's Most Wanted. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, people go after defense attorneys, but them prosecutors, they can take it too far.
They often do. They want that W. They want that win no matter what. And then while you're detained in jail, they're putting you through something called bullpen therapy. Listen, it's insane in there.
Y'all heard what they did to that chick, Ghislaine Maxwell, right? The one who knew Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
They're saying that they put her in cell, and for months they would release rats in there on purpose, and that woman still didn't break. They do stuff like that to certain people.
Let me tell you something. In bullpen therapy, you don't even have to do that. Because in bullpen, when you're in the bullpen, and when you're on Rikers Island or anything like that, it's anything goes.
Oh.
Anything goes, and then the officers look the other way.
Yeah, they do that now in a minute.
They look the other way.
I can't go to prison. I got too much of a cute face. I know women will slash me up.
They would want to. They would want to make you their girlfriend.
I know.
No, not me.
They love doing that.
I ain't gonna.
And for jail. Yep, can't.
I'm gonna be like.
And then
I'm gonna be like
the women's facility is rough.
I've heard.
I'm gonna be like Cat Williams off for Friday After Next.
Oh yeah.
get that right, and then it'll be over with.
No, but these women are treacherous. These women will hurl their used tampons at you.
You know, when I was growing up in the 90s, I lived in Alabama. Nobody talks about it, but there's a women's prison down there called Tutwiler.
Yep.
You've heard of Tutwiler then?
No, I haven't heard of Tutwiler, but it's probably the same as the female facilities where I worked.
At the time, it was one of the worst women's prisons in the United States. You wouldn't think it. Alabama, Tutwiler. And my mom's like, let's go preach the gospel there. I'm like, ain't enough Jesus for me to walk in there. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be funny. No, I'll pray for you. But I was like 88 pounds wet. What you think the women gonna do to me if they got me by myself?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, no,
exactly.
Thank you. Ain't enough Jesus for that right there. I'm not trying to be funny. That was the worst women's prison in the country at the time in the 90s. I'm like, no, thank you.
Because
women big as you, Mr. Burns, I'm good.
Oh yeah, bigger. They're bigger than me.
Yeah.
Because I watched the movie from back in the day, It's called Reform Schoolgirls. It was about it was an 80s movie back in 86. And this movie called Reform Schoolgirls, and it basically shows you about what goes on in a women's prison. Like they get the weakest one, and they try to do all those sorts of stuff to them, put them in a gang and stuff, and that's why so many, commit suicide and do the things they do.
It's not a good place.
Mm-mm.
It's not a good place. And when you're dealing, when you first lose your freedom, it's the worst time, because you're going from being able to go to a bar, a movie, your friend's house, the park, whatever, to all of a sudden, all that is gone, and the amount of space that you can move in is extremely limited.
See, I was told that the worst time is when you find out that a close relative of one of your kids passed away, and you're stuck in that cage and can't go. I heard they go haywire, like they tear that cell up.
That is another time. That's another one of the things that are so terrible about being incarcerated, is that you're completely disconnected from your loved ones. There's things going on right now. You could be thinking about a relative back home, but you could always grab that phone and make the phone call. Or you could take a flight, take a ride, whatever. When you're incarcerated, no.
Mm-mm.
If there's an issue with your daughter, your brother, your sister, your mother, whatever, you got to eat that. And then on top of that, you got people that are coming at you from all kinds of angles. Yep. Whether they're trying to take something from you, or trying to recruit you, or trying to force you to do something. It's psychological warfare in there. It's psychological warfare.
I wouldn't be able to fight them off. I done had nightmares about it. I'm for real.
Listen, the officers were outnumbered 50-1. Mm-hmm. And we don't have weapons. The only thing we had was radios, the alarm, and some keys. That's it.
No, anybody got time for that? What you mean you ain't got no taser, boo boo?
No.
You ain't got no
nothing. No. And they're all out in a unit. They are all. I'm talking about the maximum facility. I worked at a maximum, and over there they released the entire unit at once, not split tiers. All 96 of them out at the same time.
Nope.
And you gotta walk around. Mm-mm. Yeah. Mm-mm. And you ain't got no weapon. This is your weapon right here, your mouth. You better know how to talk to people.
Cause some people you can't shoot off it.
Listen, we had a female officer. Okay. She took that badge to heart. She was just power crazy. She used to do things to these people that was absolutely uncalled for. Okay, I'll give you an example. You got to do random inspections of the inmate cells. Random, right? So one day you'll do 2. You got to do 2 each shift. So one day you do 2. The next day you do another 2. And you just keep bouncing around. That's how you're supposed to do it. This lady, if she had it in for you, there'd be no random with her. It's like she was targeting you. And then, understand, in the facility I worked in, the inmates can only receive maximum $50 a week worth of commissary. That's it. That's the max. It don't matter how much money you got on the books. You weren't allowed to use all your money. you were only allowed to use $50 a week for your commissary. So you bought your soups, your cosmetics, whatever. Well, this lady, when she did her cell inspections, she would take a bag of the inmate soup, open it, and pour it on the floor, and then step on it. Brand new shampoo, brand new the professor's soap. They would take the professor's soap, pour it in the toilet, and flush it. Brand new.
Mm-mm.
Oh Lord.
Take your bed, shred it.
What happened?
Knock off all your stuff. What happened? Oh,
yeah, what happened?
So there was an inmate that had charges in a different state and in the state that I was in. So he went to court for his case in the state that I was working in.
Right.
The judge said, well, you got a 30-year sentence here, and you got to do 85% of that. Then you can go start in the other state with another 20.
Uh-oh.
So when he came back from court, and this is a delicate moment, when people come back from court and they've received bad news, you got to be prepared, because sometimes they flip. And then it was just this lady in charge of the unit at the time. Her companion went off to either to chow, or I'm not sure what the case was, but the captain was doing a tour of the unit. He was in the top tier. This lady had it in her to mess with this dude as soon as he got back.
Oh,
no problem. No problem. He refused to close his door, but when he came out, he had an electrical cord with a lock on the end of that thing and a shank.
Oh.
And went to town on her.
Oh.
The captain spotted what was going on, ran down to help her as quickly as he could, and called the code. And by the time the responders came, she almost didn't make it.
Oh.
This guy bashed her head in. She had to go out on permanent medical leave.
Oh.
She came back to visit a year later. She was a different person. Speech slurring. She couldn't talk well from the brain injury.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like I said, it's a crazy environment. It's psychological work. I hear myself talking there. Somebody have?
I do too, but I know it's not me because I turned off the YouTube.
Wait a minute. I think I know what it is. Somebody trying to call me. If it was a spam. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm good now. So yeah, I mean, the real thing is the psychological warfare in there. It is absolutely crazy. These guys will have you going up and down, up and down, up and down, emotionally, psychologically, everything.
Wow.
It's so crazy that an inmate will come up to the desk to have to fill out some paperwork and ask you if he could borrow your pen. If you lend him your pen, he owns you.
Why?
Because you gave in. You gave in something that personally belonged to you. That's the first step. That's the first step in a process. These guys, okay, they have one book in particular that they all read. Sun Tzu.
The Art of
yes.
War. Yep. They all read it. Yep.
Yep. And they use it. They practice it in there big time.
I'm shocked that they don't read Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince. Especially the thing about, is it better to be feared or to be loved?
Loved.
You have to be careful about being loved, though, because if people love you too much, they get too comfortable and then they can manipulate you.
It's the greatest of all things, but there's something called, what do they call that kind of love?
Agape?
No. Well, it might be, but no. Tough love.
Oh, okay. That's your type of love.
Tough love. Yep. You got to know how to say no.
That took me years to figure out, too, because I was a yes person. The first few times it hurt, but after that, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you learned your lesson from the pain, at least. Some people don't learn. Some people go through the pain over and over again without learning how to say no.
Not me. I learned that you got to learn.
You have to. That's tough love. When I get on my kids, I don't feel remorse. That's tough love.
Oh, wow.
I don't get carried away like my dad did.
Oh, yeah. Because I was about to ask you, don't do that.
Yeah, no. I don't get carried away like that, no. Out of my 6 children, I only hit one, and it was on his hand. I tapped him. It was pretty hard.
You have 6? I thought you had the grown son and then the 3 with your wife.
I got 6.
Oh, I didn't know you had that many babies. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You have a great relationship with all of them?
Yes.
That's good.
No. I'm sorry. No. My 15-year-old daughter, I have no relationship with. She's. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I'm able to respect decisions that they make, provided that it doesn't put them in danger.
Okay.
Provided that it doesn't put them in harm's way. You want to experiment with something? Be careful, because you don't have to get wet to know what rain is. So there are some things you don't need to know.
True.
And if you're that curious, I'll go show you what the after effects are if you need to.
Yep. Like
that I don't have a problem with.
That's why I never tried crack, because in the 80s when I was a kid, I can remember when kids' moms were abandoning them. And I'm like, if that's what crack makes you do, I don't need any part of it.
I was surrounded by all kinds of drugs. My friends were drug dealers. I was surrounded by it. I saw people coming over, buying, using, dead from overdose. I saw all that stuff.
Wow.
I never had any interest in experimenting with it. Never. However, some of my friends did get curious, tried it, and went down that path, and eventually got devoured by it.
It does.
Because the way it starts, it's not like how it was back in the days with Reagan, when they had all that propaganda of some dude hanging in the schoolyard waiting for the kids so they can give them some samples for them to. It was never like that. As a matter of fact, if you were a dealer and you sold anything to a kid, they would take you out. They will unalive you.
That's very true. Michael Francis said that on his channel, In the Mob. If you were in the mob and they found out you did that, you was in some deep crap. You might be swimming with the fishes.
Yeah. You were going to be fish food.
Food.
Yeah. They didn't tolerate that. None of the dealers that I knew tolerated that. Nobody messed with kids. Nobody. Not at all. Not even a little bit. But interestingly enough, the ones that do what, the pattern is like this. You'll have a family member, maybe at a party, maybe at something, and they're amped up. They're amped up to the point where you get impressed. Like, damn. Like, this dude is nonstop dancing, doing all kinds of crazy shit, drinking, Don't even look like the alcohol is affecting him, but he's pounding down like 20 beers and he's still like, amped up. You're like, damn, what's up with that? And it's your very relative that said, nah, it's this, man. Check this out. Try this shit. This shit is crazy. And you try it. And okay, maybe at first it might get you nervous and whatever. You hear stories. Nah, don't do that. This, that, the third. But here comes that relative against it. Nah, man. That's nonsense, man. You could control that. Look at me. But the thing is that he's in the beginning stages of using that. So you're not seeing when he's starting to go downhill. By the time he's starting to go downhill, you're already hooked. And you're on that path.
Yep.
And you probably did the same thing to another family member where you turned them on. And eventually all of you go downhill. And then the first relative that gave you that stuff, now all of a sudden he's missing work. No, I got this. This don't control me. I control it. That's one of the most popular things that they say. I control it.
No,
Yeah, and then before you know it,
what you want the bowl?
it's a wrap.
You can get it.
Yep, it's over. My uncle was that way.
I got some family members.
I can remember the last Christmas I was home before he passed at the age of 39 in 2008. Because my mom had me when he was 11. She was a teen mom. How my grandma, who was still alive at the time, was like, Tara, go sit in that bedroom. I need to make sure that he don't steal my Christmas presents. I'm sitting on the bed. He came through that room and saw me. He was really about to steal from his own mama on Christmas Day. They'll
steal from anybody.
Anybody. They don't care.
No, they don't.
When I found out he was a drug addict, I kept everything at my side.
That's exactly how it is. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is. It could be your own children, and they will steal from you.
They will.
They will go so far as to hurt you physically to get that money.
That too.
That stuff right there, that's a destructive force.
There was a pretty Latina girl that was an outcast in high school, and these other two girls were nice to her. Christina Paolilla, she's in prison now. And what happened was, years after they got out of high school, Christina took her and her boyfriend were both high and wanted drugs so bad. She went to them two friends' house who were nice to her in high school and took both of them out for their marijuana.
For what?
Yep, I think for their marijuana or something like that. Some drug they had. Two girls that were nice to her. She became such a junkie because they weren't junkies. They were just with their boyfriends in that house selling it. But she was a junkie and she knew, and they let her in, not realizing she was coming in with her boyfriend to take all four of them out.
Listen, and it's not just the junkies. It's not just listen. My sister, who recently passed away, she was approached by the cousin of the guy she was renting a room from.
Right.
She was renting a room from this guy. This guy was a dealer. So the house that she was living in, the house that she was renting a room from, was actually a stash house.
Oh.
She was there with my nephew. Now, the guy who owned the apartment, his cousin stepped to my sister and told her that he was gonna rob the spot.
Oh.
If she kept her mouth shut, he'll spare her life. And sure enough, he came in with a team, took out his cousin.
Oh.
Unalived his own cousin.
Oh.
My sister and my nephew were tied up in her room. And they were spared.
Oh.
My goodness.
His own cousin.
My goodness.
I mean, Cain killed Abel, so.
Yeah, that's right.
This the actual stuff that be going on in TV shows.
That's why I said. That's why when I gave my oldest son, I gave him a Bible for his 16th birthday. 3 things, 3 books. He was highly disappointed. He was waiting for an Xbox or something, but I came through with the Bible, a book on the stock market, and a book on how to save money. Those 3 things. He's an atheist. I don't know if he still is, but at the time he said he was an atheist. Cool. But I said, listen, this book here, the Bible, okay, whether you're a believer or not, this will teach you how to coexist in humanity with other human beings. Because even though the things that were written here were written thousands of years ago, humanity has not changed.
It really hasn't.
It hasn't changed. Technology changed, but not human beings.
Nope.
We still lie, steal, cheat, kill. We still do all that stuff.
Yep.
But the Bible will teach you how to navigate. Because there are plenty.
The only unforgivable sin is blaspheming of the Holy Spirit. That's why I keep telling people God forgives for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. The list is long.
Think about it. David killed a man over his wife that he saw naked bathing. This stuff.
That's why I'm afraid.
Yeah.
That's why I'm afraid. People have seen me naked. I don't know what they're going to do.
For real. He
No, we
there
we
you
don't
go
want to
acting
see
up.
that,
Here we
really.
go acting up. You just acting up.
We don't need to see that. That's a little too much.
You just acting up tonight.
Because we're gonna be on talk something we didn't need to see.
Somebody's dying because of me. No, listen, it's true. He put his general on the front line deliberately to have him taken out so he could be with his wife.
Yep.
He was coveting another man's wife and put him in harm's way to get her.
Yep.
How you like them apples?
Look at Paul when he was Saul of Tarsus. Before he became Paul, he was responsible for a lot of unalivings.
He was a tax collector, wasn't he?
I thought Saul of Tarsus was a king.
No, Saul is, but the one you mentioned, wasn't he a tax collector?
When he became Paul, because remember, Saul becomes Paul.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And God forgave him for that because he completely turned around. But it's incumbent upon you to want to change, though.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Somebody tell me they're a crackhead. I'm going to pray for you. You can't come live with me.
No. Okay. There's the tough love. That's what I'm talking about.
You been done took my whole living room set in the night, pawning it for some crack.
Yeah. You can love them. You just don't have to go along with their plan.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to. That's not mandatory. When you love somebody, none of that stuff is mandatory.
Even gluttony's a sin. Y'all heard about that woman this week that just kept binge eating and she got famous on line for that. And she set on a live on some social media, and ate so much her stomach ripped open and killed her on live. Because she was overweight and was eating. She felt her stomach tear, and she died on that live. That was this week.
I didn't know anything about that. This is my first time hearing it.
Oh, gluttony from overeating, and you can see where she hurled in pain. I just saw the photo. I won't watch the video. People will sit and watch big overweight people eat. And that's gluttony.
Oh, that's weird. Why would you do that?
And what gets me is, I will say this about that. I don't know. I didn't know about what happened in that live with the young lady, but I will say this. I have watched, people's, on TikTok and stuff, them being overweight. Yeah, you know how they eat and stuff. They say they cook this and cook that. I watch people's eat, but at the same time, I go to the comments because that's the first thing I go to is the comments because I know some people's have so many rude comments to say about this person saying that that's a little too much. They shouldn't be eating all that. Well, this the thing, I'm I'm pretty sure they know that. It's people's out there like that really care about their bodies, and if they wanted to stop it, you see people's like that. They try to work out, they try to make a change, but you actually got peoples that are in the comments that be coming on it saying that they need to stop eating like that. They getting too big.
Do you think they're just being hurtful, or do you think that they're trying to let the person they're trying the only way they know how to convince her to stop? What do you think?
That's a
I
good question.
think it's to me it's 50-50. Like it can be hurtful, and it can be trying to tell them a message. I don't know. I don't think they trying to tell them in a mean way, but I actually think like if you want to get your message across, it's a certain way you have to say it instead of bashing and
Okay, if that's the case, D, I need you to go talk to my brother because my older brother, my older brother, he loves to talk smack.
what happened to him? Is he all right?
I guess so. I've I keep my distance from my brother.
Oh,
My brother is not a safe person to be around.
oh,
I'll
oh,
put it
oh,
that way.
oh, oh,
Yeah.
I
oh,
love
okay.
my brother, and my niece just graduated, and I probably shouldn't say this on a live, but who cares? I suspect because the mother ran off with her years ago that she has somewhat of a disdain for being half black.
Really?
Uh,
Yes. Like
uh,
like ever since she came back to Alabama, my father, who's her grandfather, is down the street from her practically. Less than 15 minutes, she would not go to his house even after she got her driver's license. And I find that sus. She never would
That's
meet my grandma when she came back home before she passed. I'm like, you
that's
had
ridiculous.
years. I know, right? Now she's going off to college in Mississippi. And my brother wanted me to congratulate her. I'm like, for what? She doesn't like being half black. That's what I get the feeling of. So I've just kind of estranged myself and kept my distance.
what?
Yeah. There.
Reason,
Yeah.
yep. I think she does not like being half black. But because she has a good relationship with my brother, she's tolerant of him because that's her father.
Wow.
Oh.
She tolerates him.
That's what I
Wow.
think. That's what
Right.
I
Right.
You,
Right.
and I realized something. I realized this as well. If somebody is like, biracial, I do wonder. I do feel for them. I do feel for a person like that because at some point, 'cause whatever the situation is, sometimes people will have to make them choose like which side, do they have to be on. But I'd be like, well, can't they embrace both sides and can they just choose like what they want to do? Because I feel
Yeah.
like
They should be able to. They should be able to.
I don't think her white relatives that she grew up with when she went back allows that because at the graduation they walked away from all the black relatives and then it seemed awkward to her. I'm like, but you're a grown woman. They need to respect your wishes. You're going to Mississippi for college because you got a scholarship. So it's not like you need them anymore anyway. So
Right.
you're still gonna be half black. So get over it.
Yeah. That ain't gonna stop.
That ain't gonna stop. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
because because it's true, like. No, that's not gonna stop at all because one way or another, you still gonna have that in you.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous.
So I thank my brother because I didn't congratulate her and too happy with me, but he understands my loyalty to my grandma. How can you have been half an hour from your own great grandmother and you had a driver's license and you didn't bother to go meet her?
I don't understand any of that.
That's a
And she
Listen,
sad
didn't go to the
situation.
funeral either, and she could have.
What?
I
And my dad's like, that's my granddaughter, that's my only grandchild. I'm gonna support. I'm like, yeah, but she lives like practically in the same small little town as you, and she doesn't make an effort to have a relationship with you. You don't find that odd?
odd.
She got a driver's license. She's 18 flipping years old. She could have driven to your house and said, hey, granddaddy, but she didn't want to. You don't find that odd?
So basically, if I may ask, so basically, she does not want anything to do with the black side.
I don't think she does. What happened was the mom's white, my dad, my brother's black, right? He's my baby brother. So
Oh,
she ran off with the little girl at age 3 and married a guy that was one of my brother's good friends. My
What?
brother, yeah, my who was also a white guy. My brother didn't from high school. My brother didn't know till 10 years later when one day they just up and showed back in Alabama that those two had divorced years before. Then she married two more men. And then after that, she came out and said, I'm really gay and I just don't like men. So she came back with her lover. So she
She
put
was a
that,
hot mess.
yeah, she put that child through the ringer. Now, if you knew you was gay all them years, I mean, come on. But anyway, uh, yeah, she came back with her girlfriend, or I think her wife. And then so my niece has been through the ringer, but she still clings to that white side when she came back and never tried to get to know the black side when we told my brother, hey, bring her to let us meet her. Well, it's not a good time and la la la. Jerry, why are you ashamed to bring her around us?
I suspect that she was she probably didn't want uh to be around you and your brother and your grandmother because there was structure there.
that's been going
That
on
makes sense. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
because that been going on like that's it, that type of situation, like it's been going on for years. Like if you ever think about it, you
Wow.
know, back in the times, when these celebrities, would they have, biracial kids. Down the Ross is an example. Uh,
Diana Ross.
yeah, Down the Ross is an example.
Oh Lord, Diana
I,
Ross, keep going.
I, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break it up.
No, it's okay because I know where you're going, but I want to hear your opinion about it.
Yes, ma'am. Um, all her kids are biracial, mixed, except one, and that's the firstborn, Ronda Ross. Ronda Ross did not know her daddy was being recorded till she was 13 years old, and basically, out of all her, out of all of Diana Ross kids, all of Diana Ross kids resemble her in some way, and let me tell you, all her kids, to me, they don't even, they embrace, to me, they embrace both sides. Well, both of them do. Both sides will. Tracy Ellis Ross, she's a prime example. She embraced both sides. She proud that her mama down the Ross. And Evan, I think that's his name. He looked more like Diana Ross, just a light skinned version.
Yep.
And yeah, she's a prime example. She has biracial kids, but at the end of the day, they embrace both of their sides. If I'm
Well, with the professor's niece, her mom was all over the place. God only knows that while her niece was with her mom was so busy doing too much that that her niece had more liberties than what she would have had
If she
with
would have had
the
the daddy.
professors, with the daddy and the grandma and all that.
Yep.
So
So
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh
I'm
no,
sorry.
that's fine. No. Go ahead, go ahead.
So she feels like she has only uh one side to embrace, and that's her
Her
white
mom's
side,
side.
her mama side, and she
Yeah,
don't want.
but I question now. I'm wondering if it's actually a racial thing or it's the fact that she was able to do whatever the hell she wanted while she was with mom. If that's the case, I'm just
Yeah,
throwing that out there.
yeah.
That makes sense. I never thought of it that way. Because, like I said, when they went to her graduation back in May, because of course in the South, the kids graduate in May, not June, she acted like she was scared to hug all her black relatives. Like she had met my dad for the first time in all those after all those years. Then my mom came. My mom and dad been divorced since I was 5, 6 years old. Then my mom came. Then my aunt Teresa, who's my mom's older sister, went. And they're like, well, she's just so shy and la la la. I said, I don't believe Mariah shy.
Eh,
It's like, okay,
eh.
you've been home for 6 years and you never, because what at the time that she came back, my grandma didn't have dementia yet and was still in her right mind. It was like, she's my great granddaughter. Why don't she want to meet me? It greatly upset my grandmother. Because my grandmother's thing is, what did I do to you? Because my grandma had mixed race granddaughters. So it just wasn't a big deal to her anymore. So she's like, why can't I meet my great grandchild?
And to think it was just the opposite for me, because I got both ends of the spectrum, and I didn't have a problem going to either one, but they had a problem with me because
Now that's
What did you
sad.
do?
they would call my father and say, "Hey, get this kid out of here." Listen, I got one of those senses of humors, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because and since we on this subject, it goes by to say, just think about it. Back then, well, some of it's still happening to this day. Like you have these you have these white tea, you have these white tea individuals. See, I'm saying it respectfully.
Yeah.
You have these white tea individuals that don't want their children or anybody in their family messing with anybody of
Yeah.
our skin color. But
There are
then
levels. There are levels to racism. There are levels.
they really are. And 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 then they tell them, don't mess with that, don't mess with that black person, don't mess with it. And then you got their kids, they don't be paying that no mind, they still gonna go be with that person, they have kids by 'em. That's why, because when you think about it, all that has been going on since 400 years of history. But that's just mean because it has, in my opinion, it has been going on for years, over 400 years. That's what my opinion. That's when I think it started.
And it's
Well,
taught.
it's
Because if you
taught.
look at a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old, they play with each other, no problem. They don't see color.
They don't at
They
all.
learn that. They learn that at home
Cause they're kids. They're not paying them no attention. They're kids. They don't understand.
because it's not
And
something to understand. They are kids, and they're interacting with other kids, and that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be worried about somebody's color or anything like that. When you worry about color, it's because you were taught to worry about color. Not That's not natural. That's not.
it's taught, not learned. It's taught.
Yeah, it
And
is taught.
and when you keep teaching, it'll go through their brain. That's what they'll think because that's what they is taught.
And yes, there are levels. There are people that are racist, but they're not disrespectful.
Mm-mm.
They'll do business with you. They'll
They ain't gonna
interact with
show it.
you.
They're not gonna show it
But
because they be slick about it.
no, you ain't marrying my daughter. Okay, simple as that.
Yep, that's that. Yep.
Yeah, you're not marrying them, and
Remember,
they be
Kobe Bryant's own parents wanted him to have a black wife and didn't hide that.
yes. And I tell you something else. It just now came to me since I'm on this subject. Have y'all realized how so many peoples and parents of white tea kids that are grown have uh estranged themselves from their mommy and daddy and from their children because they went and had a biracial child by a black man or woman? Do
Yep.
you do you really see their true colors? And they'll be like, that ain't my grandbaby. That ain't my grandbaby. Y'all are not
My
welcome here.
grandmother happened to my grandmother. My grandmother was ostracized. She likes the chocolate. She had kids. Yeah, she likes the chocolate. She had kids with Hershey's, some Hershey's Kisses.
Oh wow, it runs that deep in the DR, huh?
Okay.
Okay. So my grandmother, from my father's side of the family,
Right.
was part of a group of families that were sent to the Dominican Republic by the Spanish government to maintain a white population because everybody was mixing.
Right.
So she's from
Wow.
that family. She's from one of those families.
Oh.
And yes, they're racist as all hell.
Oh wow.
I got laughed at.
What
Laughed at.
because your skin was darker?
Yeah. A relative of mine, turns out that he was a cousin, or that he is a cousin of mine. I don't know who this guy is. I'm walking into this restaurant with my friend, and they're celebrating this guy's birthday. They say his last name. They say his full name, his last name. I said, wow, that's my family's last name. Let me go ask this guy over here, the bartender. So I go to the bartender and ask him, hey, by any chance, is this guy from this town in Dominican Republic? Goes, and he said, yeah, I'm from the town right next door. That's where he's from. Wow, that guy's related to me. He laughed in my face. He said, what? No, bro, you ain't related to him. What are you talking about? You're crazy. Says, bro, I'm related to him. He goes, nah, man. Them people are all white with green and blue eyes, man. You ain't related to them, man. Come on. Ha 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 ha. Like, what? Hey, the queen is in the house.
The queen in the house. Hey, queen. Good evening.
Hey. So yeah, the bartender laughed in my face.
See, there's
And I'm like, dude, that
ahead.
dude is related to me. And then I went and spoke to him, and I guess he was drunk enough to just roll with it. But I laid down some names, I put out the receipts, and sure enough, he was my cousin.
Cause
And then
go ahead. You can go ahead and finish.
Oh, another time at a grocery store. I'm looking at the name on the license for the store. There's that last name again. So I asked the kid behind the counter. He must have been about 19 years old at the time. He looked like a white boy. Said, hey, by any chance, are you guys from such and such a town? I said, yeah. Oh, wow. So we're related. What? He called his uncle. He said, yo, uncle, come here. Listen to this guy. Say that again. I said, yeah, you guys are related to me. He goes, what? What are you talking? His uncle said, what? What are you talking about? Says, yeah, you guys are related to me. My grandmother's such and such. Her sister's such and such. Her father's such and such. My father's cousin is such and such. And he looked at me like, oh my God, it's true. You are related to us. But then all of a sudden, I guess I stank.
Ooh.
And yeah, they ended that conversation. They're racist. That branch of my family is racist, straight up.
Cause I'm Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I say this about all the time when I come in your live. Like when I first saw your channel, and then I read your name on Facebook. When I first saw your channel and I saw a picture of you, I was like, hmm, this look like a black man. He gotta be mixed or something. But then I looked at your name and then it said Leo Gonzalez. And then I thought again, I'm like, oh shit,
I'm not supposed to know
He's one
his
of
real
them.
name. I'm not supposed
maybe
to know
he's
his real
Puerto
name.
Rican.
Huh?
That's what I said. I said, maybe he's Puerto Rican or something like that. He's mixed with
A
something.
butter pecan Rican. Yeah,
That's what
but
I didn't mean no disrespect or
no, no, no,
anything.
no, no. That's not. I don't take that as a disrespect. I understand. Listen, when I was a cab driver in New York City, and people would speak to me, I'm Black American. That's it. That's what I am. When I went to school in Harlem, I'm Black American. I got the AJs. I got the marshmallow shoes. I got my afro. I had my pick with the fist on it.
Wait a minute.
Nobody knew I was what.
Wait, you had a picture. You had a picture with an afro and a pig.
I had my afro and a pick with a fist on it. Listen, I don't hide my blackness at all. I know that that's a
Okay.
common thing amongst Hispanics. A lot of Hispanics do that crap. I don't. I embrace my black side. I embrace it strong.
Look, I'm not gonna tell you no story. I could tell you don't hide it by the music you be playing when you be doing them shorts. I said, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I say, oh yeah, he's seasoned, he's seasoned, he's seasoned.
yeah. I'm not. Listen, not me. I'm not that one. And let me tell you something. When I go visit Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, because I was born in Puerto Rico, but my family's Dominican, and when I go visit both those places, especially in Puerto Rico, people act like I don't know my place. Like what? What you trying to say? Like yeah, like I don't know my place. Like yo, you ain't, you an uppity one. Oh really? Oh, okay. Y'all know what you can kiss, right?
There's a
Y'all
lot
can
of
Exactly.
them.
kiss my hot 97.
I had a professor at the University of Washington who came here, and she went to the University of Wisconsin. She could not speak English. She's from Puerto Rico, and real light
Mm-hmm.
skin, Ileana Rodriguez Silva. You can find her books on Amazon, and she'll tell
On
you
Amazon. Uh huh.
most Puerto Ricans are black. She was actually my college professor. She went on the black side of Puerto Rico after years from being at home. And you know what they told her? You need to go back on the other side with them light skinned heifers.
Oh,
Because
What?
they were
Listen.
so suspicious of the lighter skinned ones being nice to them because
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
they were so mean for so many years. When she wanted to go back and build a bridge, them dark skinned ones said, no, you take your ASS on back on that other side.
I had people in Puerto Rico call me monkey, gorilla, stuff
Oh,
like that.
yeah. If you ain't Ricky Martin or lighter skinned, they don't play over there. Yeah.
mm. I ain't trying to be funny. Them must be the white Latinos and
Yes, yes,
because you know what I learned
100%.
because I learned something. It's light Latinos, it's black Latinos, you know. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know. Yes, it's black peoples that is Spanish and that speak Spanish and everything. And of course, a lot of people don't know. A lot of this music, like that's in Puerto Rico, it comes from Africa. It comes from Africa, if I'm correct.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna feature some music from Cuba. Okay, and before I put it on, or even after I put it on, you would swear if I eliminated the volume, you would swear that you were listening to some kind of performance in West Africa. You would
Wow.
swear. Yeah, I embrace the Cuban music more than my own Dominican music or Puerto Rican music because they really kept that African foundation strong in their
They did.
music. In fact, yeah. In fact, Cuban rumba, okay? Cuban rumba is basically made up of primarily three different type of rhythmic patterns. One is called yambu, one is called Columbia, and one is called Wawanko. Okay, Queen. Thank you for coming over.
Thank
You
you
have a
for
blessed
coming
night as
in.
well.
You have a great night.
So, you got Yambu, you got Wawanko, and you got Columbia. Those three rhythmic patterns are ceremonial drummings that they use for their deities, for their religious ceremonies, for their orishas. And you watch that, you hear that, they'll blend Spanish along with some Yoruba phrasing. So I mean, the only downside of it is that these are religious ceremonies and they're
You got to be careful with the Mauritius.
yeah, it's antithetical to what I am, which is Christian.
Not just that, but I was friends with somebody that worshiped those. You have to be careful with the Mauritius.
Yep.
Remember them white kids that were from Louisiana, and they kept playing this game of several white kids now who conjured Papa Legba, and then the next thing you know, they're
Ooh,
dead.
that's something you'll find out. That's something you'll find in Haiti.
You can't play with Legba like that. It's not a joke at all.
It's not. You conjure up some nasty stuff.
Yep. And it ain't easy to get rid of. It's not. That's why I don't mess with it.
And if I may share, I don't know if I could share this with y'all or not. I just want to share this with y'all because I feel like I can share this because we family and we all can relate on a bunch of stuff. Like now, my best friends and everything. All my best friends is black like me, black and brown like me, and Latino, Hispanic, and those are my friends that I communicate with on a daily basis. I don't know if that. I hope it's okay. I share that. I don't mean to say it in a bad way,
No,
but
go right ahead.
those like for real, like now, those are the peoples that communicate with me. That are who I communicate with. See, and let me tell you something. They be mentioning me first. See, I don't be doing anything. I don't like to text first or anything. But that's how I met majority of them. Like I communicate with them on a daily basis. It's been black and it's been Latinos that has been, I have become very good friends with. And I'm gonna tell you, they are some of the greatest, like it's a great experience because I teach them English and they teach me a little Spanish because sometimes I have to dig into my Google Translator, which I don't understand. And I had to, and I try to teach them. I don't mean to make it. I'm trying to put it in words in a
I
respectable way.
understand exactly what you're talking about. I understand exactly what you're talking about.
But that's who really I've been communicating with most. I don't have too many white tea friends, really. I really don't.
Well, I have tons of them. I got friends.
I'm just
I
not
got
going to
friends
pick
from all
them
over the
up
world.
because they're white. Yeah.
Right.
There's
Listen,
black
growing up in
people,
New York City, I
right?
had friends from so many different parts of the world. Friends, people that have invited me to their homes that I've eaten with their family and everything. Come on. What were you saying, Professor? I'm sorry.
But I see what DeAndre was saying, though. Sometimes it's hard with them, especially with some of them up here acting up again, like them marching in Nashville and stuff. And we know everybody ain't like that.
Right.
But when you grow up around that stuff, it gets old after a while.
It's
Yes,
super
ma'am.
old.
Yep.
It's super old. Everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. We're all human beings.
Oh, talking about the white race is gonna be wiped out. No, it's not. Stop. Y'all know y'all need to stop that lie.
Ain't nobody getting wiped out.
Anybody getting wiped out.
Mm-mm.
Let's not.
No, they wrong for that.
It's
Those are
levels
the
to this.
knuckleheads that believe that nonsense.
Even you growing up in Harlem, you know, like the Harlem Renaissance ain't what people tried to make it out to be. There was a lot more colorism in that Harlem Renaissance than people like to admit.
I
Yes.
believe it because they have it in movies. They have it in movies because if you watch the movie, if you watch the movies like the civil rights movie, King with Martin Luther King and the Rosa Parks story. When you think of those movies and you think of those times back in the times, it basically tells you like if we couldn't,
They weren't anti-white. They were
They
mm-mm,
weren't.
anti-abuse.
Yes.
they was.
They weren't anti-white. They were anti-abuse, and it just so happens that the abuse was coming from a certain sector of the population.
Yeah,
But it's not that they hated them. They wanted to make babies with them too. They didn't care.
exactly. Oh, if I may share this little story with y'all, and then I'll be
Yeah.
done.
No, no,
Um,
no. You can keep going too after the story. Keep going.
okay. I was a senior in high school. It was the day. It was the day before my graduation back in 2014. So they had this dinner for us. And they invited us. So I went after graduation practice. I sat there and I ate my food, and everybody was coming in. I looked around. I'm like, what a what a season! What the brothers and sisters at? Is I'm the only. I was ready
You're
to
the
go.
you were the only pepper in the salt jar. Is that what it was?
Yeah, and I ate the food. It was good because I was hungry. And then I gave them a compliment. I said, "Thank you so much for the food. It was delicious." And one white tea woman looked over at the other one. They looked at the like, is he being polite? I said, what type of mess this is? Like, I could tell like something was like they were trying to, be nice. I don't know, was they faking it or what? But then I had somebody to open my pop, open my Coca-Cola or Sprite or something without my consent. I don't want nobody opening my pop unless I don't do it. If I ain't seen you wash your hands, don't open my pop. I don't play that.
Don't touch my pop.
Don't touch my pot. I felt so uncomfortable, but I ate that food. But I felt so uncomfortable. I think that's the very first time I ever had potato salad with the hooves still on it.
Did you like it?
Mm.
It was all right, but it wasn't like ours.
Listen, do you know who Louis Armstrong is? D, the trumpet
Louis,
player, the jazz trumpet player.
I heard of him. Louis Armstrong. Oh, yes.
Louis
He died in
Armstrong.
1970s.
Louis Armstrong was raised by a Jewish family.
Yep, I've heard that story.
Anytime, if you took a good look at Louis Armstrong, he always wore the Star of David. He was raised by them. And yet people talk trash about Jews. And here he is, raised by them. They taught him music, everything.
He kind of had like a Ralph's voice
Yeah, he did.
when he.
I heard that he got that in prison when he had gotten locked up and they slashed his throat. That's what I heard. I don't know. I haven't been able to
Oh.
verify that.
Have y'all
Yeah.
ever read a book called Our Kind of People?
Our kind of pizza, you said?
Our Kind of People with Lawrence
Oh,
Otis
no.
Brown. He died, 2021, 2022.
No,
He
I
was
never read it.
fairly young. Well, there's the Black Elite, right? There's a club called Jack and Jill where some of the most educated Black people from generations send their kids to exclusive summer camps. It's called
Is
Jack
that
and
out of
Jill.
is that out of Illinois?
but they got chapters all over the country, right?
Okay.
So what happens is he grew up that way. The first chapter of his book, Our Kind of People Will Make You Mad, because when him and his brother were little boys, their light-skinned black grandma would tell them, "You're gonna get too dark. Go play under the tree in the shade so you don't get too dark." And then during the civil rights movement, she threw around the N-word expletive while all these nappy head black folks out there marching for their rights. Because she light skinned, and that's
Even within our community.
even within our community, because she had money. She's like, why these dark skinned N-words got to go out there and make a fool of themselves? And
The class.
when Sidney Poitier, he was telling the story of how when he got that award back in the 1960s, I think it was an Emmy or an Academy, I forgot what it was. She was like, "This old dark skinned, sweaty, such and such, la la la, talking mess. Why he had to embarrass us by being sweaty?" I'm like, that's your issue.
What?
He may have had Bahamian parents, but he was born in the United States and just went back as a little boy to the Bahamas. So Sidney Poitier was American. But that's his grandma. That was his great grandma or great grandma. Go hide under the tree. You and your brother gonna get too dark.
He was one of
Bourgeois.
he was one of the greatest actors that he was. I liked him in A Patch of Blue.
But see, the grandma being light skinned black didn't understand that though. She saw him going for that award, just thought dark skinned, sweaty Negro making the race look bad.
Oh, um,
That's
Miss
sad. That's a true story.
Miss Professor, Mr. Burns. Since you bring up the light skin and the history of that, which brings me to my next thing. I don't know if y'all ever heard about this. It was about Natalie Cole. It was like, it has been said allegedly. I watched it on Ashley Say So that she said allegedly Natalie Cole had problems with her mama was because, she was so close to her daddy. Natalie was more close to her daddy than she was to her mama, because her mama, Natalie Cole's mama, was light skinned, and basically she came from a up upper class of black people. And it was said, she really did not want to marry Natalie Cole. Say her family, her mama told her, go on and marry
She
him,
didn't
because
want to marry Nat.
she didn't want to marry Natalie Cole because she married him for the wrong reasons, because they was the type of peoples that if you don't pass the bag test, if you a certain shade, you wouldn't fit in. But her mama got in her head because Nat King Cole had money. That's why she married him. She didn't ma- she didn't marry she
Ah.
did not marry Nat King Cole because she loved him. She didn't love him. She married
She
Nat
loved his
King
money.
Cole because of the status, because of the money, because of the money.
Oh
And
wow.
And the children pay the price for that.
they did because Natalie Cole, uh did I say her name wrong, right?
Yeah, it's Natalie. It was Natalie.
Natalie.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. Natalie
Natalie,
Cole.
and then her dad Nat. What's Nat
Yeah,
for? Nathan or something like that? Nat King Cole.
it had to stand for one. It had to stand for one, but um allegedly, her mama treated her mama treated Natalie Cole worse and different than the other kids. Like basically, she treated Natalie Cole so bad, and she treated the other kids right. She treated the adopted kids, or whatever kids she had,
That's
different than
horrible.
Natalie. It is. And the reason, she married Nat King Cole was because of his status. He had money. He was rich. Cause the mama and the family got in her head like they didn't like that black. They didn't like that black food apparently what us black folk be eating, like ham hocks and butter beans and greens and stuff. She was
chitlins and grits.
She was that type of individual. Allegedly, she was that type of individual. She was that type of individual. She was that type of individual. She would talk about like they ain't eating that stuff, and they don't eat that type of stuff. But then when ain't nobody looking, there she go down the stairs eating putting chitlins in her damn mouth, just guggling them. She was that type of black individual because she was lighter than Natalie Cole and Nat King Cole. Basically. Oh, he left.
He'll be back.
I hope I didn't say too much, but that's what that's what I looked up and that's what I've heard and read and listened to. Like basically Maria, that's her name, Maria. But she died in 2012. And no matter what Natalie Cole did, no matter what award she won or did, her mama still did not treat her with respect. And that's why I feel Natalie Cole turned to the substances that she did. You know, she basically was in a burning room and she almost died if nobody didn't recognize her. That's why I believe she turned to what she turned to, because she didn't get that love from her mama. Her daddy, her and her daddy was close. And so I feel like that's who Natalie Cole felt like really treated her nice and loved her the most, because she was not getting it from her mama, because her mama was down on her any chance she got.
That's very painful, man. And thank you, Professor Nathaniel. I got it. Yes. That's very painful when you got a parent like that. Listen, oh man, wow. That's how my grandmother was. That's how my aunt was too. When I went to go visit my family in Dominican Republic, that I had to stay over my aunt's house. The words that used to come out of this woman's mouth when addressing me. If I didn't grow up in a loving environment, well, my mother's the one that showed a lot of love. She used to bombard us with hugs, kisses, used to remind us that she loved us all the time. My dad was cold, but on occasion, I guess he would tickle me while I was sleeping or something like that. So he expressed some kind of affection with me that he didn't show with the others. But my aunt, oh my God, and my grandmother, I never got to meet my grandmother, because remember, she was unalived by one of her sons.
With that machete, huh?
With the machete, 63 blows. Take that. Choo, choo, choo.
But that's over. Why would he do that so many times? And why would he do that to his own grandma?
Okay, well, I'll tell you. It wasn't meant for her. It was meant for her niece, my cousin.
Oh.
Yeah, it was meant for her. Because they lived together with my grandmother. Her and her boyfriend were living together with my grandmother. And it was a little shack. It wasn't like, there was like one big room and that's it. And they were getting their groove on right in front of my grandmother, right? So my uncle thought that, So my uncle thought that was disrespectful. And he warned her. He told her, listen, you keep doing that, I'm taking you out. I'm taking you and your boyfriend out. You guys gone from planet Earth. So they didn't believe it, I guess. And so I'll wait for DeAndre to come back.
Okay.
My aunt, man, she used to say horrible things. Oh my God. Yeah. But it didn't bother me. It didn't faze me. I would be laughing. I don't know if that angered her more.
You wow, you
yeah, I would laugh my ass off. Listen, the things that she would say were so over the top. It was crazy. She would say that I was sterile.
Oh,
Yeah, that I was a dirt bag, all kinds of crazy stuff, and for the stupidest things. Um, she would make food and say, "Get your ass over here, you worm, you maggot," all this and that. And to me, it was so funny because there was really no reason for all that. So something's going on with her.
wow.
It was, yeah, that's how she was. Okay, D's back. So D, let me keep bringing it down.
I'm sorry for the interruptions, y'all.
No, that's fine. Check this out. So my uncle warned my cousin, his niece, okay, y'all better stop that or I'm taking you out. Now, everybody knows not to mess with my uncle. He's schizophrenic. And so, sure enough, they were home one night, getting their groove on. He heard it, grabbed the first machete he could, tried to break the door down. That machete broke. He grabbed another type of machete that we call a coling. Now, the coling is a little different from the machete because it doesn't come out to a point. It comes out so far and then it's flat in the front.
Oh
So he broke the door down with that. And he went in swinging. He didn't even, and the first thing he hit with that first blow was the only light in the house. And he didn't stop swinging that machete until he hit my grandmother 63 times.
Ooh.
Oh.
Was this before you were born?
No. I was about 5 or 6 years old when this happened.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
I remember because my mother broke the news to my dad. She was all in tears. I don't know why, because the woman used to do voodoo to try to have us die. Whatever.
Oh.
She hated my mother.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, she hated my mother. Hated
I can't be around
her.
nobody like that. I'm sorry.
Nice. Ooh,
I can't be
Lord.
around nobody like that.
That's what I'm saying. I
Huh?
ain't got time for that voodoo. Oh,
Couldn't be around nobody like that. Because let me tell you,
Yeah.
that's why it tells you be careful. Don't leave your hair no comb or nothing. If you got dead hair, you better burn it. Burn it.
My grandmother was rich. She probably cut some of that hair while you were sleeping. Listen, my grandmother used to cast spells on my mother. She hated her. And well, so when my mother broke the news to my father, he could care less. Matter of fact, he told us that the day he passes away, under no circumstance is he to be buried anywhere near her. He's not.
Ah.
He's buried with his grandmother. With my great grandmother.
No disrespect, but your dad sounded like a true G.
No, my dad was not the one.
Yeah,
he was not the
can tell. Yeah, we can tell.
and his brothers too, his sisters, all of them, his siblings. They were not the one. Listen, I can say this because, well, they don't live here, but they can fill a nice size or small size cemetery with the people they offed. Listen. They were not. They were just not the ones. They were not the ones. So my sister, my oldest sister, is married to like a second cousin of ours, right?
Right.
He's got the last name that you keep mentioning, D. That's his last name.
Wait.
His father, second cousin of ours. That's not uncommon in my family. My family has, they've married into first and second cousins. Oh yeah, yeah, they have.
Alabama, but keep going.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, so his father, my brother-in-law's father, was telling my brother-in-law that back in the day, when my father was around in the town where my family was, if anybody had some kind of problem with somebody, all they had to do was mention the fact that they were friends with my father, and they would leave him alone.
Oh wow.
That's the type of reputation. My grandmother was a loan shark.
Oh
My grandmother was a certified loan shark, and she would send any one of her sons to go collect that money, and you better have it. You better have that money.
Oh,
Especially my cousin Raymond. Listen, Raymond was way out of control. Way out of control. Not in his listen. He was a gentle giant. Well, not really gentle, but he was a gentle giant, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I understand it. That's why they say never raise your voice to a black or Hispanic mama.
No, their sons will shred you. Their kids will shred you. Listen, Raymond, okay? Raymond. You know what a plantain is?
Yes.
You ever see where they grow? You see the plants that they grow, the plantains?
Yep.
They grow in like these pods. And these pods would have like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 plantains.
Plantains are difficult to cook.
Not for my cousin. He used to eat a whole pod, one sitting, when he was 16 years old.
Ew, that's a lot.
Let me tell you something. He went on a diet. He took my friend for a ride. He was gone from like 30 to 40 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes he was gone. He hopped on his motorcycle, took my friend with him. His wife had already finished cooking for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before he came home, my friend came up to me and said, "Yo, your cousin ain't right, bro." So what do you mean? This dude and his wife cooked for him? I said, "Yeah." Bro, this guy, he ate 12 melons, 3 pounds of cheese, the entire salami, and a bottle of rum, and he's going to eat dinner on top of that?
Oh, wow.
I said, I guess.
But
wait a minute. His wife didn't serve him on a plate. She served him in one of those white industrial buckets to the top.
Ew, that's nasty.
And tore that thing up. And he was on a diet.
That's enough food to feed like 20 plus people if you add that right.
He would inhale that. He ate that like it was nothing.
That's nasty. That's what I'm saying. He had to be high to eat like that. That's nasty.
Must have had the munchies.
That's what I'm saying.
This guy used to lift weights, and his weight sets were truck parts.
No.
He was able to grab a loaded oil barrel and hoist it over his shoulder and walk off like it was nothing.
Wow.
Are you sure he wasn't no alien?
I think he hatched out of an egg. I don't think he was birthed.
Something, yeah. Oof.
Let me tell you, if it wasn't for the police, I think I've told the story once before, but if it wasn't for the cops that told me the story, no way would I believed it. They locked his ass up because he tried to beat the crap out of his sister, and her sister was dating a captain from the police.
Right.
While he was in the holding tank, 20 dudes tried to assault him. He hit the first one, put him to sleep, grabbed him by his ankles, and used him like a bat and beat the rest of them down like that. What?
I'm sorry, that's not funny.
Yes, it is. That's funny as all hell. Listen, like I said, I wouldn't have believed it if somebody would have told me. I said, yeah, okay, he's exaggerating. No, the cop said, no, man, your cousin is he ain't right. He ain't human. He's something else. Okay. Thankfully, he liked me. He liked me a lot. I'm really grateful for that. Because he was, yeah, no, he wasn't very, he wasn't too friendly with other people. He almost killed 3 of his kids.
Oh wow.
Yeah, with an ass whooping.
Oh wow.
Yeah. One, the oldest is a female, and I guess she had gotten pregnant or something like that.
Right.
And he was angry about something. I don't know what it was, but he grabbed a knife and told her to come to the backyard. And if it wasn't for her mother, she wouldn't be here right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was going to take her out. These people are like that. Listen, all my uncles, they're all like that. They make you disappear. They don't care if you're their kid or not.
Oh wow.
So you better, yeah. That's why when my dad said what he said that one morning at the breakfast table, I knew he was serious. He said, listen, I don't raise parasites. If I find out you're leaning on people, I'm going to take you out.
Was he referring to you asking for help that day?
No. He wanted to make sure that I wasn't some leech, somebody who's gonna go and no. He
When did your dad pass away?
Passed away 2017, maybe 2016.
Oh, that's been fairly recent then.
Yeah. Yep.
How's your mom?
She passed in 2016. No, 2010. 2010. June 16, 2010, she passed.
Oh, so she went first.
She went first. Yeah. Cancer of the uterus.
Ooh.
She refused the surgery to help save her because she's a Jehovah's Witness and she didn't want to take the risk of having a transfusion. So she told us, she said, "No, listen, I'm ready to go." I don't know how my siblings responded, but I respected her decision.
It made sense. Some people, I had a cousin like that I found out. My cousin Tasha, she passed around the time of the pandemic, and she was about 38 years old. And
wow, that's young.
Yep. She's like, I'm just not going to let them pump that chemo in me, because Tasha was always holistic. She's like, chemo is poison, and they're not going to put that poison in me.
My mom wasn't holistic, but she was Jehovah's Witness, and she wasn't trying to get a transfusion. She said, no, under no circumstance. I want to be with the Lord. And she went June 16, 2010.
Oh, wow.
And I was going through a divorce right at that time.
Oh.
And that woman that I divorced, and this is not an exaggeration. I'm not exaggerating. What I'm about to tell you is what was really going on in my mind at the time. I didn't think that woman was a human being.
Oh, okay.
I thought she was either a demon or an alien.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think she would. No, there were things that she did. You would have been left with doubts too. Let me tell you what this woman did. Okay, did you ever see the movie Gone Girl?
Oh, I didn't see it, but I know the premise of it.
That's what I went through.
Oh.
With one difference. What's his name? The actor The one that's with J-Lo. What's his name again?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. The character that he was playing, he actually did cheat on his woman. That's the only difference. But what I went through when I saw that movie, I couldn't sleep well for like 2 weeks because I was reliving a lot of the stuff that I went through with that woman.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Whether a person does that to you or not, they have no right to torture you like that.
It was torture. It was straight up torture. I'm not even kidding. Let me tell you what this woman used to stand out. I got a phone call from my friend. He said, "Bro, what's the matter with your wife, man?" I said, "What do you mean?" She's standing in front of the window with her tits out, showing my son and his friends.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
One of the multifamily houses that I owned, that I lived in.
Yeah.
My neighbor, she approached me while I was walking up my driveway, and she said, "Is it true?" What happened? "You married that crazy?" I said, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean? "How could you be so stupid? How could you marry it?" Well, I asked her, she wouldn't say. Now, let me explain. I met her through my nephew's wife. And the reason why I met her was because I was going to give her dance classes. So, after being with her for like about a year, I came to my niece and my nephew. "What do you guys think? I'm interested in marrying her. What do you guys think?" "Oh, yeah, no." But mind you, my nephew's wife knew things about her. Had she told me those things, it would have never happened.
Oh, okay.
But she was all like, "Oh no, the man makes the woman. Oh no, it's great." Yeah, D.
Hey, I don't mean to cut it short, but I'm gonna have to charge my phone. I don't want to go dead on y'all.
Yeah, okay. No, that's cool. That's okay. Cool. Oh, they're coming for you, D. It's a wrap. It's my ex-wife. She's coming to take you away to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time.
Yeah, I'm about to go charge my phone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. No, you're fine. You're fine. But you're gonna miss out on a great story, though.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But I really am thankful that I was able to come in, and
I'm more thankful than you are that you made it.
Thank you. I sent you a message last night on Instagram, explaining why I couldn't make it.
Oh, okay. I'll go check it out because I hardly ever go on Instagram.
Yes, sir. And I want to thank you, and thank you, Miss Professor, for having me.
Thank you.
Stay fresh, D. Keep it moist.
Thank you. Y'all have a great one.
You too.
All right, buddy. Yeah, so this woman, my nephew and my niece, they did it wrong as far as I'm concerned. So let me fast forward to my mother's wake. So I'm at the wake. I'm going through the divorce. I'm on my way home. Not with her. Now prior to this, she would tell me, "I hope your mother dies."
Oh.
She used to tell me stuff like that. So on my way home from the wake, to mock me, she sends me a picture of my mother, the same picture we had posted on the wake.
Oh.
Evil. Okay, did you get to see my son, the oldest?
I've seen a photo of him.
Oh, because he was on the live a couple of days ago.
Oh, yeah, that live I missed.
Yeah, he's on that. So if you go on there, you'll see him. That woman attempted to poison him.
That's not his mother, huh?
No.
Oh.
She attempted to poison him. She already has 2 boys. One of those boys stopped my son from eating what she had served him and told him, don't eat that.
Wow.
What up, Kurt?
Why she do that to you, though?
The woman was just straight up evil.
Do you see her around anymore?
Hell to the nah. Hell to the nah. Let me tell you, I was in Dominican Republic, and I got a phone call from, she's not her aunt.
Right.
Come on up, Curtis. She's not her aunt. That's her sister's aunt that was living with us, and her husband was living with us because her husband was trying to secure his Social Security disabilities because his back was just jacked up.
Oh, okay.
So while I'm in Dominican Republic, I get a phone call from her, and she said, listen, when you get back, be extremely careful and watch your back, okay? I overheard your wife talking to somebody. I don't know who she was talking to, but she was trying to find out from whoever it is that she was talking about how she can kill you and get away with it.
Oh.
She would prepare food for me, and I would take it to work with me, and under no circumstance would I eat it.
I don't blame you.
I used to throw that damn thing out and order food.
I don't blame you. When did
she
you
used
make
to watch.
her go away? When did she finally go away?
So I don't. That's a good question. I don't remember. I was traumatized. I don't remember well, but I filed for divorce 3 times.
3? Oh, wow.
3 times. Every time I filed, I told the court, please do not send the correspondence from the court to my house, to my address, because she will make the paperwork disappear, and I won't make the court date. I'll lose out on all this money. Every time they disregarded what I said, sent the divorce papers to the house, she would make them disappear. I would lose the court date.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't until finally that she submitted divorce papers. I got the impression that she didn't think I was going to follow through with that, but I definitely followed through with that.
Y'all
and
didn't
that's
have any kids together?
Yeah, I've got 2 with her.
Oh, wow.
So, so that's the second time I wound up homeless.
Oh, okay. Because I was homeless 2 times too.
Yeah, that's the second time I wound up homeless and had to go. She stayed at the house, and I wouldn't go anywhere near that house. I wouldn't go anywhere near her. Those 2 children of mine, I haven't seen them since one of them was 1 and the other one was only months old.
Oh, wow.
I provide for them, but that's about it.
Oh, wow. It happened.
Now with the boy, I was able to connect with him for a very brief period of time through FaceTime, and that's because the oldest made it happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
where's Curtis at?
I don't know. Curtis, man, I sent the link. You ain't coming up? That's what we were talking about, but then he bounced. I don't know. I don't see him up here. But yeah, that listen, and it's crazy because before I married her, she was one way. And when we married through the justice of the peace. When she came out of that building, it was like a Hollywood movie. It was a different person. A completely different person.
That's what I've heard about people who can switch up soon as you marry them. That's crazy.
She switched up.
She pulled a Jekyll and Hyde on you.
And she stayed Hyde.
Yeah, that Hyde is crazy. Yeah.
I used to be sleeping or trying to get some sleep. Remember, I was working on average 93 hours a week. So while I was in bed trying to fall asleep, she'd be calling me by my last name because that's how she met me. She met me in uniform. So you have your last name on your uniform.
Yeah.
So she kept repeating my last name over and over again. And when I would wake up and say, what? Nothing. Not a peep from her. She would wait until I'd be falling asleep and start the pattern all over again. And she would be doing that over and over and over again.
Wow.
Demonic.
Wow.
Yep.
And I thought my great grandfather was kind of, but it ain't his fault though, because he had what's called shell shock.
Oh, okay.
What they now call PTSD.
World War I, World War II?
World War One.
Yeah.
So he came back from
horrible.
World War One.
Messed up.
If he told you to do something, yep, and you didn't do it, and he disappeared in the back room, you better run.
What?
He wasn't a good shot, but instead of spanking his boys, he'd just shoot at them. Now they all lived. They all lived. But after a while, you knew that when he told you to shut up, if you didn't, and he disappeared, run out the house. He blew a hole in the door getting to my uncle several times. Some of them still alive.
Wow.
They can recall that story, and they're all in their 70s and 80s now. They can recall that.
Well, when your grandfather finally got too old to be doing crazy stuff like that, how did they respond to him?
My great-grandmother came back. She disappeared, Queen Esther. She disappeared for 25 years because he was so mean, and she was light-skinned and pretty and buck wild. And so she ran off to Kentucky for 25 years, came back. Wow. I found Jesus at the same time he was dying, because by then they had created what's called Veteran Affairs, because back in World War I, if you remember, they didn't have that. But by the
they didn't have veteran nothing.
But by 1967, when he was dying, she came back and took care of him. She never remarried. She just came back and took care of him. He was too weak to fight her by then. So,
well, how did your brothers respond to him?
My uncles?
Yeah, your uncles, rather, yeah.
More or less, they just learned to accept that he went through some stuff. They don't sound angry when they talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, because I never sounded angry at my dad. I made sure that I let my father know that I loved him, I appreciated him, and that I'm grateful for being so stern with me because I'm cognizant. Yep. I'm cognizant of the environment that he was trying to raise me in.
Yep, because now these kids are on this trophies for everyone, and they think everybody owe them something. And when they go off in the real world now, they're finding out that their parents who coddled them made things worse.
Yep.
The real world doesn't care. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the only thing my dad coddled was his fist before he hit you. That's the only thing he coddled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, he used to listen. He grabbed the belt. He didn't care what end he grabbed. If you got hit with the buckle, you got hit with the buckle.
Oh, wow.
He'll throw bottles at you, rocks, anything he can get his hands on. He'll throw it at you. A battery, whatever.
But look at who his mother was, though.
Oh my God, his mother was meaner than a junkyard dog.
You get
his
it from somewhere.
His mom used to make my sisters and my cousins go fetch her stuff in the middle of the day, barefoot on the tarmac.
That's not nice.
That's the kind of stuff she used to do. She'd have you kneeling on rice for stupid stuff.
Women like that could be mean.
She was mean.
My great-grandfather that I was telling you about, Eugene, had a brother named Prentice. Well, Prentice was found in the woods in Alabama unalived under mysterious circumstances. He was just slumped under a tree. Some people said he had a stroke or a heart attack, and then some people say the Klan placed him there like that. We never got a definitive answer. Well, his wife, Lottie, because he was 27 and she was 16, that type thing was legal back then. I'm not saying it's right.
Right.
She must have had some animosity, because when my grandfather was mean to his sons, they would go walk down the street hungry looking for food. And Lottie would be like, "Y'all hungry, baby?" They say, "Yeah." Then she'd laugh and like, "So starved. Ha, ha, ha. Get the F off my porch."
What?
Yes.
Damn. Because she's conniving.
Oh, she was conniving because she hated my grandfather's brother, who she was married to, that died young, and they had one daughter named Velma, and Velma Velma died 2011, 2012. Velma was mean too. I never met her, but I heard she was a mean something. But yep, Lottie knew that my grandfather, who was her brother-in-law, wasn't feeding the boys because he was drunk and shooting a shotgun all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So every time they passed, they'd be wanting some food, and Lottie would make fun and laugh. "Get your A off my porch."
That's horrible.
Yep. But they're not angry about it. She was a very overweight person. My guess was that because she had to marry at that younger age, that she was resentful.
I make it my business. Never to take out anything that happens to me on anyone around me. I don't care who it is.
I used to be the opposite of that. I used to be really angry about a lot of things. I don't do it anymore. And I had to wake up and realize I can't go back and change the past. I can only do the best that I can do now.
Yep. So long as you're improving, listen, that's a good thing.
Yep.
That's a good thing. Professor?
Where's Curtis? Oh, yeah, it's about time for us to wrap it up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's wrap it up.
Yep, I'm glad I'm having a slow day at work tomorrow. It's what's tomorrow? Goodness. Friday?
What do you have to do for the government anyway?
Remember, I write contracts.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, who do you have to deal with?
Like all kinds of customers. It all depends on what the material that they're ordering.
So these people are third party?
Some of them are direct from that manufacturer.
Okay. So you deal with contractors then sometimes?
Yes.
Okay. I gotcha. I know
you got to go eat, and Curtis didn't come up.
Shame on Curtis.
Before I let you go, real quick, your subs are growing, and you're getting more people on your lives.
Yeah, but it doesn't reflect on the thing here, because there's an eyeball, and next to the eyeball there's a number. Like right now it's on 0, so I don't know who's watching my lives, if anybody's watching it. But you said you noticed that people are?
Yeah, they must be.
Oh wow, okay. Why, you can see where it says views?
Not anymore, no, because I clicked out of the YouTube because it echoes if I'm in this and YouTube. I can't see it now, but I did it first.
It's your turn. You turned into a robot.
I know. My bad.
Oh my God, nobody's watching. Gary Coleman just told me that nobody's watching. There it is.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, all right. I know you got to go eat.
Gary. Hi, Gary.
Who is Gary?
Yeah, we got to go. Gary, sorry. It's time to say goodnight.
Yep. All right. I'll catch you.
You got robotic. Transformer. Robots in disguise.
I can't hear myself being robotic.
Okay, so Gary, the channel is actually the foundation of this channel is about me encouraging people to participate in the stock market, to watch out for propaganda and marketing as an investor, so that you can participate in something that the wealthy use as a tool to either acquire wealth, maintain their wealth, or to expand their wealth. That's actually what it's about, but we talk about all kinds of things. What do you say, Gary? Are you typing away? Yeah. Ooh, well, I can't answer that question, Gary. I can't answer that question. Suffice it to say that I've been engaging in the stock market since 1996, and eventually I went on to become a broker. But that's about as far as I will divulge. Are you wealthy, Gary? Just curious. You don't have to answer that. I understand if you don't.
Yeah, it seems like Curtis is gone, I think.
What's that, Professor?
I think Curtis is gone. Because he isn't saying anything.
Yes, I am successful. I'm successful, Gary. Ooh, Professor, your is it your internet or is it mine? What?
It could be mine.
Oh, I understand. Well, Gary, I'm going to warn you right now. My approach here on this channel is extremely boring, because I only demonstrate the results of buying and holding long term, and I don't show the stocks that I'm working with, but I definitely I definitely encourage people, and I use two uh, I use two different accounts from two different people to demonstrate the importance of being disciplined and consistent. And I show, sorry about that, Gary. And I show the results of what it is to be consistent and disciplined. One of them is contributing $35 a week. The other person is contributing $100 a week. And I don't go into much detail about strategies, but the strategy that I do show is dollar cost averaging. And in one of the accounts, I demonstrate how the dollar cost averaging is being utilized by focusing on the greatest underperformer of that list in the portfolio. The other account is taking a slightly different approach, but it's still dollar cost averaging. Oh, by the way, they're all income producing. Sounds like I'm a fraud. It sounds like I'm a fraud. Okay, explain, please. I'm curious. How can you tell that I'm a fraud? I gotta plug in my phone. Hey, Professor, now I can hear you. You hear buzzwords with no evidence of anything. What kind of evidence are you looking for?
The type person that think everybody's a fraud just because a lot of them are. What else is new?
Buzzwords and no evidence. That's interesting, Gary. That's very interesting. So, what would you classify as evidence? Just curious. Oh, any evidence that I'm successful? Okay. Let me pose this question to you. Let's say your car breaks down and you encounter a mechanic that tells you exactly what you need to do, that that diagnoses what the problem is with the car, but he can't work on your car because he suffered an injury, and in the meantime, he can't use his arms to do the actual job. Does that mean that the mechanic is not a legitimate mechanic? Just curious. Well, maybe he showed up because he can show you what you can do to fix whatever problem you have. Or would you reject it just because he can't do it himself with his arms? That's why I'm asking. In other words, can he still... Oh, it's a bad example? Oh, okay. I don't know what to tell you then, Gary. Sorry. Next lie? Okay, well, you're accusing me of being a liar. All right. Have a good night, Gary.
You can't please everybody.
Yeah, you can't please everyone.
That seems like somebody
That's how it is.
Who was trolling.
Well, anyway, Professor.
Better to do. All right.
Yeah. So have a good night, Professor. Listen, thank you so much for coming on board. Gary, even though you're being rude, I appreciate you coming up. Have a good night. And thanks to everybody else. If they see this later on, or maybe they're in the background, whatever, thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next live. Stay fresh and keep it moist. All right, Professor?
All right. Good night.